Hello and happy Thursday. It is August the 26th, 2021. And you know, if you see me standing outside and not doing a tennis video, we have a high likelihood of a tropical storm or a hurricane coming in this direction. Let's take a look at this one. All right, so here is the beginning of kind of this storm and my video updates. And this is the latest information out from the National Hurricane Center. There's still not a formed center of circulation here, and here's the storm over here on the right. But the center is supposed to be forming at some point today in that area, somewhere in that area. And the tracks, the GFS and the Euro tracks, do have a very tight overlay of one another here. So the tracks are doing really well right now. So what does this mean? Mind you, if you followed my weather videos over the past couple of years, living here in Dauphin Island, Alabama, just off the coast of Alabama and the Gulf of Mexico, that when storms form this close to the Gulf of Mexico, they don't have a lot of time to strengthen and then to weaken and then to strengthen again and weaken. They just ramp up and make landfall. And this is one of those areas in which some of the biggest storms in history have began and made their way into the northern Gulf of Mexico. So it looks like at some point today that this invest area, which is 99L, is supposed to develop into a tropical depression, and the conditions in the Gulf of Mexico are extremely favorable. We have, and I'll show you some more of this on some maps, but we have very warm water, we have very little wind shear, and we don't have a lot of time before this storm will be knocking on someone's door here in the northern Gulf Coast. So this system will enter the southeastern Gulf of Mexico this weekend, where the conditions are expected to be favorable for additional strengthening. Dangerous impacts from storm surge, wind, and heavy rainfall are possible Sunday and Monday along portions of the northern Gulf Coast from the Florida Panhandle to the upper Texas coast, with the greatest risk along the coast of Louisiana. While uncertainty in the details of these impacts remains large since the system has yet to form, interests in these areas should closely monitor the progress of this system and ensure they have their hurricane plan in place. I'm going to move to a couple other maps, but remember that we are very close to New Orleans, Louisiana, and on the eastern side of these storms is when it gets to, or where the impacts and where it gets to be a much more dangerous scenario than the western side. So a New Orleans type impact would be disastrous here on Dauphin Island. So as always, I like to give you a lay of the land. So I'm in my backyard here in Dauphin Island, Alabama, and I am facing my north. In that direction is coastal Alabama, where Mobile, Alabama, Fairhope, Alabama, Baldwin County, Alabama, Mobile County, Alabama would be. So we are right out in the Gulf of Mexico. In that direction is Florida, the Florida Panhandle. If I zoom or pan underneath my house, just over that tree line, over that house is the Gulf of Mexico, all right? If I pan this way, that's Carla doing some weightlifting, this way is Mississippi. That's the way where New Orleans, Louisiana would be. And again, the storm is still so far out there. There will be a large deviation in the track because there is no formed center yet. But as that center forms, the track should become more clear and the cone will shrink, given that it doesn't have much time to move around. So right now, with no formed core, landfall projection by models is New Orleans. I think it'll be closer to a buddy of mine, Ryan, in Mississippi, because of the high pressure ridge that's steering it in the Gulf of Mexico. I think if the center of circulation forms more to the north than it is now, then we're looking at impacts closer to here. If the center of circulation forms more to the south, then we might be looking at central Louisiana or maybe the Texas-Louisiana line. But right now, it's still too tough or too far out to tell. All right, this is one of my favorite kind of graphics to look at. This is the Invest 99L model intensity graph. On the left side, or this left axis over here, is wind speed. And on the bottom axis, as we go left and right, or horizontal, is time out in terms of hours. So you see some of these models already have this storm getting up into a Category 2, Category 3 type hurricane. So this storm, again, is in a prime location to intensify. The water is very warm. There was a strong high pressure that was built over the southeastern Gulf Coast that was supposed to stay there and push this thing further to the west, but that high pressure has weakened. And here we go with the intensity models following suit with the storm moving into those really warm Gulf waters. So this storm, again, is projected to be on our doorsteps here on the northern Gulf Coast. Here in the next few days is potentially a Category 3. Does this remind anybody of Sally? I hope for all of us here on Dauphin Island, we don't have anything like Sally. We are just getting back into our house that was destroyed during Sally. So thoughts and prayers to everyone here and everyone along the northern Gulf Coast because this storm could pack some intensity. Okay, here are the latest models for Invest 99, which, by the way, will be named Hurricane or Tropical Storm Ida first and then Hurricane Ida. It's in my opinion, this will definitely become Hurricane Ida. I know sometimes we predict things and get them wrong, but I'm relatively certain that as this storm moves from the northwest, turns a little bit to the north into the Gulf of Mexico, that this storm will turn into Tropical Storm Ida probably within 24 hours and Hurricane Ida within the next 36 to 48 hours. But let's look at, say, the Euro model, the GFS model. There is no current predictive cone yet by the National Hurricane Center because there is no center that is formed yet. The hurricane hunters are supposed to fly into this area sometime around noon today and then every 4 hours moving forward. And once that center has been detected, then we will start the actual cone and time tracking until it makes landfall. This storm's moving along pretty quickly, though. So again, that assumed point or center of circulation is in this area. So as it moves rapidly, it may clip the coast of Cuba here. If that does occur, clips the coast of Cuba here, it might inhibit strength a little bit, but it's moving pretty quickly, and that's a really narrow strip of land there in Cuba. So I don't think that will interact with it too much, and then it pushes into the Gulf of Mexico. This is when it's time to prepare. It's time to prepare now. Remember that there is a high pressure ridge running right along here over the southeastern Gulf Coast. If this high pressure ridge stays intact, then this storm will continue to move off to the north and to the west. And then central Louisiana could take a direct hardcore hit, especially with that eastern side of New Orleans being on the right side of the storm. New Orleans could be disastrous. But Katrina hit New Orleans, and it really wreaked havoc here in Dauphin Island. Again, we were very close to New Orleans. But anyway, if this high pressure weakens, and moves off, dissipates, then this storm takes a more northerly track. So we have to watch that high pressure. But all the models right now, the GFS, the Euro, and a lot of the other ones are right together. What does that mean? That there is a high likelihood that with these models all kind of working with one another, that it's going to make a landfall somewhere in this area. The only thing the models cannot predict is what's going to happen with this high pressure. So again, if this high pressure that's sitting here weakens, this storm turns north, and we get more of a northerly track, which could very well happen. Make sure you start thinking now. Here's a look at a few more model runs on potential upcoming hurricane or tropical storm Ida, currently Invest 99L. You can see with a lot of these model runs, it does have that high pressure system that's parked right here, kind of dissipating, right? So you see that some of them do have this storm making a more northerly turn. So we are right here where I'm making this red circle. That's Dauphin Island, Alabama. A direct landfall anywhere to the west of Dauphin Island in this area would bring the northeastern side of this storm with onshore flow winds and storm surge right here into Dauphin Island, Mobile Bay, coastal Mississippi. We have to be careful with this one. Doesn't matter if it makes direct landfall or not. Coastal areas must be prepared for inundation of water and heavy winds with this storm. Okay, here's the latest infrared loop. Last night when I went to sleep, this storm wasn't nearly as well organized. It's not completely organized yet with that center of circulation just kind of hunting to be found somewhere in this area, but the cool cloud tops, the thunderstorm activity you can see all around the north and to the eastern side of this storm are really starting to get drawn in to this system. So it only gets stronger from here. So there's not a lot of impressive development in terms of a core of convection in this video, or in this graph, but you can definitely see that this storm is gaining traction for sure. I think we'll see a developed cone or some developed convection here within the next 16, 24 hours for sure, if not sooner. So that's it for my initial update that I've done on Invest 99L. Again, in my opinion, very soon it will be Tropical Storm, then Hurricane Ida. So a beautiful day here on Dauphin Island. Get ready, Dauphin Island and anyone on the northern Gulf Coast, to the east side of this storm during a high tide, if it gets as strong as I think it will. It's going to be a really, really rough late weekend, maybe Sunday night, Monday morning, somewhere in there. I'm gonna think we're gonna start having some really bad weather in this area. So get your prep ready if you're watching, at least in this area. Get your lawn furniture prepared to get put up. Get your lawn mowers and stuff to higher ground, because again, if we get a 2-3 foot storm surge, and that's minor here on high tide, that puts that water all the way underneath my house, all the way across this street. If it's as strong as I think it will get, my initial forecast is Category 2, similar to Hurricane Sally strength at landfall. Let's hope it's not here. Stay tuned. I'll put my next video out as soon as we get some type of concrete center of circulation from this storm. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe. Much love to you guys. All you weather video fans out there, appreciate you watching, your comments, and some of you come here to meet me. Thank you very much for that. I enjoyed doing it. Click a thumbs up, and again, don't forget to subscribe, and we're going to get out and we're going to get wet in this one. Take care.